After a long day of travel yesterday, trying to get out of Cairo, we have made it to our next country.
Welcome to Croatia. Hi, we're Jeff and Angela, and we're Pure Detour. This summer, we are island hopping the Dalmatian coast of Croatia. This is Split, Croatia. I've actually been to Split quite a few times. The reason for that is that both of my parents were actually born here in Croatia. The island where my mom's family is from, to get there you have to catch the boat here in Split, so we come here quite a bit.
We only have a couple of days here in Split. We are going to do our absolute best to show you around the old town of Split. Let's go.
So this big fellow behind me is 28 feet tall. His name is Gregory of Nin, and he was a bishop here in the area, and he fought to be allowed to give the Mass in the local language so that everyone could understand it. Didn't work out so well. The church wanted to continue doing it in Latin, and that's what happened. Also, everybody comes around here and rubs his big toe for luck, so you'll see that his big toe is an entirely different color than the rest of the statue because it's been worn off by all the rubbing.
And fresh off our trip from Egypt, you can see here in Croatia, even they have some of the ancient antiquities that were taken away from Egypt.
This little area that lines the waterfront here is called the Rijeka, and it is lined with all cafes, which are very popular in the morning for coffee and very popular in the evening for drinks. Jeff just threw something here in the trash, and he says that the trash can thanked him, and I think he might be hallucinating. Let's check it out.
Hvala što čuvate naš grad čistim.
Here, just east of the palace area of the old town, they've got a big farmer's market as well as a clothing market, like basically a little market you can get anything you'd like. So as much as we both love this city of Split during the daytime, there's also something super special about the nighttime. Somehow it simultaneously becomes more lively but more chill at the same time. People going out, enjoying an ice cream, having a glass of wine at one of the many cafes. It's just got the most amazing vibe. It is about 7:30 in the morning. And yesterday we went on an amazing walking tour with a local guide. His name was Rocco, and he was fantastic. And he gave us so much historical context and like interesting things about this amazing city. So we wanted to wake up early to show you around some of the main sites before the crowds come out.
Let's go. So this is the basement area of the palace grounds here, and during Diocletian's time, this area was used for nothing more than storing olive oil and wine and to hold up the structure above.
Yeah. Once the Romans abandoned this palace, and then centuries later, when it was resettled by the people of the area, they basically used it as a trash dump. So this entire height of this area was filled with trash. There's also a little hole up there that was actually a toilet, so it just filled up with unsavory stuff.
The old town of Split was basically built as a palace, and it was going to be the retirement home of Diocletian.
Yeah, the Roman emperor. And after Diocletian died, and after the fall of the Roman Empire, this area was basically abandoned. But when what the Romans would have called barbarians invaded a nearby town, the locals took refuge in this town and then eventually began to build their own city within the palace walls.
So the octagonal shaped tower you see back behind me here, it was the tomb of Diocletian. Diocletian during his time was a persecutor of all of the Christians.
After the city was repopulated by what was then a Christian population, rather than destroying the tomb of Diocletian, they actually made it into a church, hence the bell tower that was built right next to it. And this large circular room was the vestibule, which is where the emperor would meet people who were coming into his palace. And it was designed specifically to have this like booming acoustic sound. Can you hear the echo behind me? Right? So Diocletian was a showman, and he really wanted to show off his power. So when he spoke to the people, the acoustics here would just make an impression on them. Also, above us, this hole would have been covered entirely in stained glass, so it would have made these beautiful glowing lights on top of him to make him seem even more impressive.
In our travels that we've had so far, we've seen a lot of Roman ruins, and they're all gorgeous, they're all stunning. What's very different here in Split is it's not a site with some columns that are left standing or a partial building that's left standing. The Roman ruins exist here, and the people have just built their lives around it, so it's full of homes and businesses and shops and cafes, and all within the Roman ruins themselves. It's amazing.
In Roman times, the building behind me was a temple dedicated to the god Jupiter. When the Christians, in the Christian era, they transformed it into a baptistry, and another one of these sphinxes right beside me, they took his face off because they believed it was like idolatry. So as Jeff was saying, one of the most amazing things about this city is that, the living fabric of the city is interwoven within the Roman ruins. And one great example of that is that we are right now at the back of the Roman temple. And I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it now, but the wall of the Roman temple actually extends into a private apartment there. So that guy's wall is actually the outside wall of the Roman temple.
Ever since Angela brought me here for the first time in 2019, Split has become one of my favorite cities in the world. Definitely top 3 or 4 cities I've ever been to. I highly feel that Croatia is a very underrated country. This place is awesome. On the north side of the palace here, there's two gates. This one back behind me would have always been left open.
And the one back behind us would have been closed. So when the invaders saw the first gate open and walked inside, that gate would be closed behind them and hot oil dumped on them from above. European history is not pretty. So Split has so much more to offer. We've only kind of shown you around the Old Town area, but the surrounding city is full of beaches and parks and so many amazing things to see.
Yeah, absolutely. So right now, we are going to turn this camera off and go enjoy Split a little bit. We'll see you next time.